Welcome to Centre Court with thanks to OMF. Kick back and relax with an adjustable bed from Australian designed and owned OMF. Watch sport your way, and Cobram Estate, Australia's most awarded extra virgin olive oil, grown, harvested and first cold pressed in northern Victoria. We've had a bit of a rolling host this year. My name is Sarah Burt and I'm thrilled to be joined by the wonderful Madi Browne. Hey Mads.
Hi Saz, thanks for coming and sitting next to me on the panel.
Oh, it's so my exciting. Pleasure. It's my absolute pleasure. We have a jam-packed show ahead of us today, so let's get into the OMF overview. Watch sport your way. Let's have a look at the ladder for this week, Mads. We've had a few moving parts this week. Talk to me.
We have, one thing that hasn't changed is Swifts right up the top. They look really hard to beat at this point in time. It just shows that one game can put you from second right down to fourth there for the Lightning. Thunderbirds and Fever will be excited to jump up a spot. Vixens going from 7th all the way to 5th and just on the brink of potentially hitting that top 4. And a few obviously down for the Mavs and Firebirds, and Giants sitting unfortunately not pretty on the bottom. So the top and the bottom have stayed pretty consistent, but there's just ups and downs, like you said, those snakes and ladders moving for some of those middle teams, and we are in that middle part of the season. So now it's about to get to that nitty-gritty part where, you know, we're just about to have played everyone once.
Yep.
Are there some scalps that, you know, the second time coming, are you going to be at home? Can that home court advantage play a bit of a part in it? That's exactly where we need to start to see some of these teams go, you know what? Well, we've seen the competition. We've seen where we're at. Hard to make some real drastic changes, but there's still plenty of areas for all of those teams to have a bit of a crack in and see whether they can shake up that top 4, because they are looking pretty hard to beat at the moment, that 4.
As you said, we're getting to the business end of things, and we're going to dissect a little bit whether we think anyone can actually beat the Swifts this season. Let's head to our team of the week, Mads. We've got a few new faces in team of the week this week.
We do. Fallon Emma there in goal shooter, 63 from 66 at 95.5%. She was unstoppable once again. Alice Teague-Neal, she's just getting better and better. She's got that strong target with Fallon Emma, so why not? She was the assist queen, 23 from 38. Housby continues to dominate that goal attack spot. Jamie Lee Price in the middle. Sunday Ariane coming into that goal defence position. She's had a bit of a slow start to the season, but it's great to see her start to pick up those performances. Shani Lambden on the wing in that wing defence role. A proud Victorian, gone up to the Swifts. It's just exciting to see her as an older campaigner getting her shot, but really showing that she's really dominant. And that backhand, that goalkeeper, Latanya Wilson, she can do no wrong. She can play on the wing. She can play goal defence. She's shown that she's obviously got the hops to match it up against the Shimona Jock, and she's going to have a tough task again this week when they come up against the Swifts with Grace Wecky. But 11 gains, 7 intercepts. We continue to talk about her. Can she actually get any better? And you just look at her stats and you're just like, she just does. She just continues to find great form. It doesn't matter where she is on court. I hope the Thunderbirds are locking her away for the next 10 years, because I think they need her there.
Well, it's good to see some of those younger faces too, like her. It just shows the depth that we have in Super Netball at the moment.
We do, and the imports, there's a lot of chit chat about, are we accepting too many imports in our team, and is it, affecting that development and growth of some of our Aussies? And one person in particular would be like that Lucy Austin for the Thunderbirds, sitting behind, waiting for an opportunity. But you know what? With that, you unearth some youngsters. Those older ones stay there. They're coaching even when they're out on court or at training. And I do think there's some youngsters that, might get some opportunities East Coast with some teams with potential movement for next season.
It's a very exciting future for Super Netball, isn't it? That was the OMF overview. Kick back and relax with an adjustable bed from Australian designed and owned OMF. Watch sport your way. We're excited to introduce a brand new segment, Mads, the Mavs Corner, where we have a look back at the Melbourne Mavericks home reserves games. This week, they were up against Adelaide Thunderbirds and won 55-41. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Against Nankerville, long ball, under pressure, and you can't do that in front of Jessie Grenvold. Had to wait, strong outside arm work. The invitation was there, and again, Jessie Grenvold rather, excitement machine. And that was the call. Strong. Now Austin, strongly within that 2-point zone. The front sweep from Pallavi. And that's brilliant work from Molly Watson. The flow of attack because of this player in particular as she sinks the super shot, trying to draw the defenders away as Earlham in the middle and then swings it in. Somehow, Nankerville. Inside the ring when she got that ball proper, and how about that for a super shot? The Birds Futures as they're trying to break through. Again, the long arms of Charlie Hoey. Earlham leading away from the ring, and Hoey. Big hug and high five, but a strong performance there from the Melbourne Mavericks.
Well, a very good result there for the Mavs. Mads, what did you see in that?
Oh, well, I just think, you know, the names of Pallavi and even Nankerville in there and Jessie Grenville, it's no wonder the Mavs obviously got the win. It just shows the depth. I think some of those players are getting that time on the SSN court, so it just shows when they do go back to the reserves, they're really showing that elevation, like they're ready for that next step. So I love seeing the reserves. We get to unearth, as you said, some young new names and talents, some ones to watch, because they're the future of SSN coming in the next couple of years.
They are indeed, and we saw in the Mavs Super Netball game on Sunday, Pallavi did play in that as well, and it was quite evident that they were bringing Pallavi in mainly just for that super shot, and we could see that in the reserves game too.
Absolutely, she dominates it, not only close to the ring, but in that arc circle. So, and that's the threat that you need these days. You need to have someone who's not only dominant in the first 10 minutes of a quarter, but definitely in that power play.
We thought it would be only fitting with the launch of this new segment that we chat to a Maverick. We are so excited to please welcome Eleanor Cardwell to the show. Elle, how are you? You've just finished up training out there at rainy old Waverley.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's certainly cold over here in Waverley. Yeah, just finished training and come to chat to you guys. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you here now. We know that unfortunately the Mavs went down to the Thunderbirds on Sunday. How were the girls feeling today?
Yeah, I think we were really disappointed from the performance at the weekend. I think if you lose by 7 but you play really good netball, a loss, it still hurts. But if you lose by 7 and play badly, it hurts even more, and I think it was the latter. It was a game that I think we could have attacked and from the start, which we didn't, and we left it way too late. And yeah, the girls had a big reflection yesterday. We did a lot of review. The energy was obviously down, but then we've come in today and the girls have lifted the spirits and we're straight back in. It's a new week, we've got a new opposition, and we've got, we can bring it to Sunny Coast. We've done it before, so we can do it again.
Elle, how have you reflected on the season so far? Because obviously second year in as a team, now you've got these shared experiences. How have you taken first season to this season and where the team's sitting right now halfway through?
Yeah, I think we're sitting pretty similar to where we were last year. I think if you look at all the stats, we're pretty high up in the stats overall for like centre pass receives, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we've definitely upped from last year, which is great because obviously we've built a lot more connections. It's been a lot easier to work on new things instead of just constantly concentrating on connections and where's this person going to run, what are they going to like, what are they going to do. So it's certainly been easier for the girls to implement the structures that Tracy and Richard have been adding in, which has been really nice. But yeah, it's been an up and down season. Like it always is, SSN is such a high level that there's never any easy game. So it is always up and down. And yeah, I'm just proud of how the girls have managed to maintain their professionalism and keep fighting every single week, even when new challenges are thrown our way. So, yeah.
Elle, we know you're in recovery at the moment with your knee. I can imagine it must be quite frustrating. You're sitting on the sidelines, not able to get involved. How is your recovery going? How's the body feeling?
Yeah, it's going good. Actually, was today was the first time we've had everyone in for a little bit, so I did a little team drill, which was really nice. It sucks. I'm not gonna lie. It's been like 8 months since I played netball, and I feel like the injury I had. I feel like you shouldn't be out for that long. But obviously, I the surgery didn't work, so just as I think I was 2 weeks away from playing, and the surgery just yeah, it just didn't work anymore. So I had to have another surgery, which is incredibly frustrating, and feel like you have to start from scratch again. But I'm feeling a lot better this time round. I'm really confident that I'll be literally back on the court in just a few weeks. So yeah, I'm just hoping I'm doing everything I can to help the girls off the court and give them as much feedback as I can whilst they're playing. So
Well,
yeah, I've got a different role.
That's exciting news for Mavs fans, saying it's only a couple of weeks away. Don't worry, they'll be all tuning in going, thank goodness we can get our girl back out on court. So I'll talk about off the court though. So on the court, you know, you're channeling that mental capacity because you physically can't be out there. But we'd love to see what you're doing away from the game and how you're kind of challenging that or channeling that energy into something really positive. Have you started a new hobby, or are you doing something exciting away from the game as well?
New hobbies. I mean, I've got into reading. I never used to read before I was in Melbourne. So now I'm huge into my fantasy, which is great. And all the girls love taking the mick out of me for that. I feel like off the court, I'm just trying to. I love activities. I love doing things and going on new adventures. So when my partner was over here for 4 weeks, I just rammed our time full of things and new things to do in Melbourne, which was great. And now he's gone home. Now Maisie's getting the brink of it, and I'm dragging her along to all the activities that I want to do. But yeah, apart from that, I'm just trying to stay connected to home, and obviously it's really hard with the time differences and stuff. So any spare minute that I have, I'm on the phone, yeah, checking in on my partner, my parents, my best friends, just trying to keep in with their life so I'm not so separated.
Have you got any recommendations, like where should we be eating, or like activities we should be doing? Because we want to give our centre court fans just something extra. Where could they maybe have a sighting of Al Cardwell around the streets of Melbourne?
Is it Top Paddock? Top Paddock in South Korea, I want to say. Yeah, love that place. Me and Maisie are always at Yo Bar on Swan Street, always there. And we actually went to see Les Miserables, I think that's how you say it, last week, the world tour. I mean, I think it's going around Australia. If you've got a chance to go and see that, it was the best show I have ever seen. The singing was like out of this world. Literally, me and Maisie just kept looking at each other like goosebumps, and we're like jaw dropped. It was incredible. So if you have a chance.
Oh, that's a good reco. Al, I've seen on your socials, you talk a lot about sports bras. I think the stat was something like 50% of elite female athletes aren't wearing the right bra size, the right fitted bra. Talk to me about that.
Yeah.
I know it's something you're really passionate about, and it's really important. We're not talking about it enough, and I've seen that you have really been talking about it a lot on your socials.
Yeah, it's definitely it's like a bit of a taboo subject. I don't know why we don't talk about it. Like, everyone has breasts at the end of the day, so every female has them. So I don't know why we don't talk about it. It's a bit weird. So yeah, I'm glad that I'm able to openly talk about it, especially with these girls. They're very open with me. It is shocking how many, especially elite sportswomen, don't know their bra size. They've probably never been checked before, and yeah, I remember when I first learned. So married a brand, they helped teach me how to size people, so I would try and do it on all the girls. So it was interesting getting their reactions for they've been wearing the wrong size bra basically for years. So it's so important because you check the size of your shoes, right? You don't want to wear the wrong size shoe. So why would you want to wear the wrong size bra? Like, you need to have as much protection for your breasts as you possibly can. You want to feel comfortable. You want to feel confident as well. I know when I'm not wearing the right bra, I am not feeling good. Like, you're like warming up and you're like holding yourself, like it hurts. So yeah, I can't advocate enough for like the education for getting the correctly fitted sports bra, knowing what sports bra is best for you, because it's what's right for me is, say, going to be different for Molly or Amy or Maisie. Like, it's all different. So yeah, getting to know your body, and yeah, just get a bit more education out there, because it really helps. And it's like the 1%ers. It's actually crazy if you wear a correctly fitted sports bra, there's evidence out there that it reduces the chance of an ACL injury. It like increases your stride length. It makes you quicker in a marathon. It makes you jump higher. So why wouldn't you want to have a correctly fitted sports bra? Because it can do a lot.
It's unbelievable. I mean, hey, for someone who's had some serious knee injuries, I'm definitely going to go get checked. Thank you, Al, for putting me in the right direction on that one. But let's talk. You are coming up against the Sunshine Coast Lightning up there this week. They are getting into some really good form. Where do you think you can kind of maybe expose their game or take it right up to them to get a W?
Yeah, I think where we can expose them is the one-on-one in the circle. I think the ball can go over the defence heads every time. So if the feeders are on, they need to just look straight into Shimmy and just give her the ball. She's been on great form this year. Her hops are unreal. So if we just keep giving that confidence and feeding her the ball, yeah, I think we've got no issues there. I think we can expose them as well with their connection, their shooter goal attack connection, the way they come out the circle, and just having those connections and the slip and slides with the defenders. So. Yeah.
Well, all the best for the Mavs this weekend. Al, thank you so much for chatting to us, especially straight off the back of training. Good luck with the last few weeks, hopefully, of the knee rehab, and we can't wait to see you back out there.
Thank you.
Time now for the good oil, thanks to Cobram Estate, Australian extra virgin olive oil. Well, the Kelpies won their first game against England over the weekend. Mads, a very exciting time for them.
It is. I think, men's netball has really started to get a little bit more airtime, and we talk about it every single year. You see the Harrison hoist there here with Josh Byron being thrown up into the air. I mean, he's pretty tall as it is, let alone over that shot. I mean, a dominating performance by 29 goals. It's just awesome to see them be able to go over and have that international kind of netball right in the middle of the season. It's just great to continue to talk. I mean, Nationals happened a little bit earlier this year. The men's game is so physical, so aerial. It really brings a totally different element to our sport, and it's just great, as I said, for them to get that recognition, for us to talk about it.
Yep.
I know they were so excited, speaking to Josh in some commentary gigs as well. They were already prepared to go over. Australian men's netball is in a really, really good place. We dominate. The rest of the world has to try and catch up to us, so it's great to be kind of pioneering and leading the way for the rest of the world. But congratulations to them, and I'm sure they'll dominate in the next couple of games as well.
And they are real show ponies. They really do bring in the eyes of the world. We love seeing them. We saw that viral moment earlier in the year with their dancing,
yes,
which they have continued throughout the year.
Absolutely. I mean, as you said, it's not only the on-court stuff, but it's the off-court stuff. And it's nice to also see their personality starting to shine and us understanding who these people are that are playing our wonderful game, because they do, as I said, bring a totally different element to it.
Absolutely. Well, that was the good oil, thanks to Cobram Estate, Australia's most awarded extra virgin olive oil, grown, harvested and first cold pressed in northern Victoria. Now, Maddie, we have missed your minute while Hannah has been filling in your seat. Take it away. We're ready to hear it.
Oh, well, look, it says usually it goes well beyond a minute anyway, but I'll keep it nice and short and sweet this week, team. But I thought, we are edging close to that halfway of the season. Let's have a little bit of a recap of some of the highlights. Some honourable mentions in there. We've seen plenty of milestones from 50ths, 100ths, 150ths. And I wanted to mention Steph Retwell on the week. And, I mean, just seeing the way that she has evolved as a player has been a huge privilege to play with her, but also watch her continue to evolve and really shape the way that goal attacks kind of creatively work and play the game. We saw First Nations round. That's the first of two that is coming in this season as well. We've also seen the Swifts dominating. Can they be beaten? Everyone is thinking who is going to be able to do that job. We've seen Delta, we've seen Robert Irwin. There's been so many things happening in this first round. I think everyone's got to lift up, find an extra bit of 10%. We're halfway through. I want to see more. I want to see more big name people coming and doing our pre-games and handing over the ball. So I'm interested to see what the teams have for the second half of the year, because I'm watching and I'm waiting. I'm ready for them to, bring it.
You heard it here first. Mads is waiting. I love the energy there. I can see why we've missed it.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, I kept it nice and short and sweet, but ready to see where all the teams can take this second half of the season because, we're wanting more. We love it, but we want more.
Eyes down the barrel, we want more. I'm very excited for this next segment. I've heard the local legend is a highlight here at Centre Court, all thanks to CRT Farming. Starts with CRT. This week we hear from Emily from Dalesford Football Netball Club.
But I grew up in a place called Barkstead, just outside of Dalesford. I play for the Dalesford Football Netball Club and I play goal attack today. I take my daughter to her basketball game and then her netball game, and then I speedily grab a coffee and try and get the kids sorted, then come play netball. I do put in a pretty good performance at the annual ball, so I'll take that as my talent. I'm 42 and my mum still makes me a salad roll every week for before netball, so my mum's chicken and salad roll. So I pack multiple of everything. So I've got multiple pairs. I've got this real panic that I'm not going to have shorts, boggers. What, boggers? Yeah, you call them boggers? Yeah. Anyone else in Australia call them boggers? I know boggers. If I don't have my boggers, so I bring 5 pairs of boggers, lots of bras, lots of socks. Don't want to be without anything.
Well, Mads, there is nothing quite like a good salad roll, is there? Does your mum still pack lunch for you?
Well, you know what? There's salad rolls and then there's when someone else makes it for you and that even tastes even better. But that was just like mum mode activated for me, pre-game ritual, sort all the kids out and only if I've got 5 seconds will I consider whether I've got everything on and I'm ready to go. I actually got out to Dalesford last year for a little bit of a coaching appearance and I met Emily and she was as fun and exciting as a personality as you saw there. But I love that. I mean, I love the local legends. I love to hear about it. But salad rolls get a mention nearly most weeks. That and the hot chips. So that's local netball at its best.
There's nothing like a country salad roll either.
Yeah, it's also like with the hot chips, it's like the further you have to travel out of the city, the more gravy, the thicker the sponge cake, and I think just, the love and heart that's gone into making that salad roll.
And you've earned it. You've driven that far.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Emily. That was Local Legends. No matter where you live or what you farm, it starts with CRT. Now let's get into our game preview for round 8. I can't believe we're at round 8 already. We hit the second part of the season, Mads. We're going to spotlight the Swifts versus the Thunderbirds. The Swifts still undefeated, Mads. How do you think this will play out?
Well, I mean, you look at this, obviously, the runs that they've had, Swifts unbeaten, tick, 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 all the way there. Thunderbirds, since losing Sterling Humphrey, we're obviously started to have a few little losses in there. They're starting to figure out how their backend's really going to work. I mean, you're looking at it and a lot of people probably would have picked these two teams to maybe finish in the grand final. So halfway through the season, it's great to see that they're, finding their feet. Some really great matchups all over the court that I think everyone is eager to see, whether the Grace Wecky against a LaTanya Wilson, Housby versus a Matilda Garrett. You go down the other end and there's Clow versus Aiken George. I think even in the youngsters, even whether it's a Maddie Turner at that goal defence or even a Tegan O'Shannessy against a youngster in Frew. There's some really good matchups, definitely down both ends. Mid-court, some really good tests as well. I'd love to see a Williams against a Hadley. The way that both coaches go about their game plan, though, is really, really different. I mean, you see a really good rotation system with the Thunderbirds, and Tanya Obbs has been doing that for quite some time. She's got real role players. They come on, they inject what they need to, and whether you're the captain in Hannah Petty, you either start or you come in, you know what role you're playing, and you really play that impact role. Swifts has started to emulate that a little bit. Usually we don't see a lot of changes, but we're seeing, Verity Simmons come on and then come off. I Hope White, I mean, just what she's been able to do, such a youngster down in that very experienced attack end. She delivers every single time and it's been exciting to see her grow. So, I think this is going to be an absolute blockbuster. Hopefully it goes down to maybe a super shot finish. I'd love to see that. Thunderbirds not known for their super shot, but starting to work that in as their game. But hopefully it lives up to all of our expectations, because I think we're absolutely hoping for, a 1-point win, because that's what we've seen last year against these two teams. So yeah, fingers crossed we're in for a ripper.
It's going to be a good one to watch. Very theatrical too. One of my favourite things about watching the Thunderbirds is Tanya Obst and her theatrics, her
animation.
On Sunday they were so far ahead and she was still really, really raring to go, storming back to her seat. I love it.
Yeah, but do you know what? That I think that, you know, shows the passion, and it doesn't matter where a game is. You can be up by a lot, you can be, you know, losing by a lot, but every game counts so much, and to make sure that you earn every ball, every second through like the quarters, you know, you've really got to bring your A game, because as we said, we've mentioned it multiple times today, but it's halfway through the season. You've got to find, all right, this is where we are. Now we don't go below this mark. This is our baseline. We've got to lift and find something extra if we want to be there in that Final Four and definitely contending in the big dance.
And it's great because it shows that the coach has a lot of faith in what her players can do, and she knows when they can really level up. Now it is time for the Strutties Social Scoop. Strutties netball apparel designed for the next generation of superstars. Style meets performance at Strutties. Strutties.com.au. This week we have a question from Sheridan. Mads, Sheridan asks, in such a short season, why aren't we seeing more fire from the teams struggling to get wins on the board?
I mean, I love these questions because they really make you think and go, well, do we actually think that they're not fighting and giving their all? I mean, I'd argue as a past player, not one person goes out there or one team goes out there to struggle or not fight or not bring their A game. You don't go into a game going, oh, well, let's just hope we only lose by single digits. Like, I guess, you know, I think it's just the way that this competition has played out. I mean, we see really close wins. We see, you know, some quite big numbers, which we haven't seen for losses. I do think they're fighting, Sheridan. I do think they're absolutely giving their all. They definitely don't want to be in that bottom four, but we have seen a real shift in top four versus bottom four, and where they're going to potentially finish up are we going to see someone edge up? We just don't know. It also makes you think about, you know, I know we've still got half a season to play, but what, as a team, if you are struggling, what do you need? Where are you going to make those changes? Who are you potentially going to be looking for? Those things need to start to be, those puzzle pieces need to start to be putting together. Are we going to see retirements? We've seen baby announcements, you know, all of those coaching changes. Like, there's a lot for some of these bottom four teams to have to kind of figure out. And now's probably the time not to have the conversations, but to start thinking about the direction that these clubs need to go, so they're really pushing for top four spots, and not wasting another season to go by. But I would argue that they're not trying. What do you think?
I tend to agree with you. I'm sorry, Sheridan, but I think they are showing fire. If we look at, particularly here in Victoria, if we use the example of someone like the Vixens, who they knew last week, they went up to Brizzy and they knew that they had to win. And they did. They're under a lot of pressure and they went out there and they really came to the fore. So Kira Austin, we know, was under a lot of pressure. She really had to have a good game and she did again. So I think we are seeing there is fire and they are responding to that pressure when push really comes to shove. But I also think when you look at someone like the Mavericks, yes, it was a big scoreline at the end of the game, but in that last quarter, they were really capitalising on the super shots. They were, as I mentioned before, bringing Unique Pallavi in just for that super shot to try and narrow the scoreline. So I do think that they're not just sitting there saying, oh, well, you know, it's okay, we've lost this one. I also think having someone like the Swifts really high at the top of the table, sort of far and above everyone else, makes it really difficult, because it might look like they're not trying as hard, but there is just a big disparity.
And we come back to that word consistency. It's about, you know, your good and your bad performances. It's about winning ugly, you know, winning when it's all going to plan. Sometimes you got to win with a bit of grit and grind, and it doesn't all fall to place. But the difference between the top teams and the bottom teams is that consistency and not having patches of 5 minutes. They have maybe 1 or 2 centre passes and then they rectify it, and they're really thinking and kind of adapting. It's real kind of instinct players on court doing those adjustments, not waiting for the coaches. I think that sometimes with those bottom four teams, they're still figuring it out, you know, where they're going to find those connections and how they're going to do it, and actually having the confidence to adjust it in the game, in the moment, rather than waiting to a break. And maybe, obviously, sometimes when you're winning, sometimes it's hard to not not win. Like once you're winning and you've got that confidence and you're just rolling with it, it's like, oh, you know, you just rock up and it just kind of happens. Sometimes when you're losing, it's like, it's hard to not, because you get those scar wounds when, you know, things start falling apart and you're like, oh, you tense up. So it's trying to have that confidence. And it is, like you mentioned, it's high pressure situations week in, week out. You don't have a moment to really think or find your feet. You just got to come and bring it, because otherwise we'll scrutinise you for it. But that's what we love about our sport as well. So, yeah.
And as you say, a lot of it comes down to the mental side of things, and that is as big a part as the physical side of things. So I hope we answered your question, Sheridan. That was our social scoop, all thanks to Struddies. Struddies innovating netball apparel. That is all we have time for today here on Centre Court. Thank you to OMF, Watch Sport Your Way, and Cobram Estate Australian Extra Virgin Olive Oil. And of course, thank you to my lovely co-host, Madi Browne.
Thanks, Ez. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate it.